What's up, guys? So in this video I'm going to show you guys my workouts. So this is one of my workouts, part of my 2-day routine that I'm doing right now. So right now I'm cutting. I'm in a calorie deficit. So when you're in a calorie deficit, you're in an energy deficit, so it makes sense to keep the training a little bit more dialed in. So I'm just training twice a week right now, guys. People really underestimate the power of training twice a week. So a more abbreviated type of routine is super powerful when you want that extra recovery, and it's much easier to make strength gains. So a lot of people are always like trying to train so much, train 4, 5, 6 days a week. I've always seen the best success with a lower frequency of training. So when the calories are a little bit higher, maintenance or above, I'll usually train 3 days a week. When I'm cutting, I bring the training volume a little bit lower. So I'm hitting no more than like 30 total working sets per week, and so I split that up into 2 different workouts. So the workout you guys are going to see is my more squat and bench press or dip focused workout. So as you guys should know by now, I focus on my big key movements. So what I always tell people is, like, if you want to build an amazing body as a natural, like, you will get there simply by prioritizing your squat, your deadlift, your bench, overhead press, and chin-ups, and even some rows. So those movements are what's going to give you the biggest bang for your buck. So you'll see that my training is very focused around getting stronger on those exercises, because when it comes to training, guys, it's better to keep it simple. And really, the way I develop my training approach is really using what's called the one thing. All right. So I took my training routines and I'm like, okay, what's the one thing that I need to do such that by doing it, I will see progress, I will see results week to week, month to month, right? And so what I really figured out is that it simply comes down to getting really strong on the big key exercises. So that's the way I train. So best exercises, guys, squat, bench, deadlift, weighted chin-ups, and bench press, dips, rows. Those are all the best fucking movements, guys. You prioritize those, you get really strong at them. That's my training philosophy. So you'll see my workouts are very focused around getting strong on those exercises, because that's what I believe is going to build the physique that everyone wants. So that's really what I teach. So this is going to be my Monday workout. So as I said, more squat and bench press, or in this case, dips workout, more focused on getting strong on those. Those are my key movements. So I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you found this useful, and I'll talk to you soon. All right, what's up, guys? So kicking off this workout with barbell back squats. So I apologize if the quality of these videos isn't fantastic, but I really wanted to just make this video for you guys. I was tight on time, so I did my best. My phone kept fucking dying, which is a constant problem I'm having. So yeah, so here I'm just hitting some warm-up sets. So I'll always start off my workouts with 2 of the key lifts that I focus on. So in this workout, it's going to be the squat and the dip. So those are my key exercises, and even the row. So here I'm just hitting some warm-up sets. So recently I've actually been reading the Starting Strength book. So I've been experimenting with squatting low bar. So I've been putting the bar a little bit lower on my back, and I definitely like it. My back is sore as fuck. I don't know if I really got the placement right, but definitely feels good. I'm able to get deeper, feels good on my back. So definitely the Starting Strength technique is solid. Looking down is a little bit excessive, I find. So that's something that kind of threw me off, and my balance was a little bit fucked up. But overall, I had a good squat session. So I'm just warming up. I like to do 4 warm-up sets, like progressively leading up to my heavy set. So, I'll do like 40%, 50%, 60%, 70%, 80%. So this is actually my heaviest set right here. So I'm going for 265 for 8 reps. So actually, the first bit of this clip got cut out for some reason. So you'll only see 6 of the reps, but I got 8 reps here. It's a PR. So for squats, I find going a little bit higher in reps yields better results. It's fucking brutal though, guys. Don't get me wrong. Like, the way I like to train my key exercises, I'll warm up to a really heavy set in the 5 to 8 rep range, and then I'll it's pretty much an all-out set, and then I'll do a couple of back-off sets to get some more volume in. So that's what you'll see me doing here. I do that on my key lifts, and then on my more single joint movements, my more like isolatory movements, I'll usually work with just sets of 10. I find that really effective. So then I rested about 5 minutes, and I dropped the weight, going down to 240, and I'm going to try and get 10 reps. So first set, 265 for 8, fucking brutal set. Guys, if you're natural, this goes for anyone, but especially if you're natural and you want to get the biggest bang for your buck, guys, you got to be squatting and deadlifting. Squatting and deadlifting are the two like best full body exercises that you could possibly be doing, and they just have an overall systemic effect that, you know, you just can't get with any other leg exercises. So people are always looking for shortcuts because squats and deadlifts are, quite frankly, fucking brutal, but they do yield the best results, okay? So don't skip your squats and deadlifts, guys. Those are key exercises. So here I'm going for 240 for 10 reps. So this was a nice set. Definitely a solid set. Definitely reaching my goal here. And then, so usually I'll drop the weight about, 10%. Depends on the movement. Squats, 10%. And then I'll go for a couple back down sets. So every set that I do is pretty much an AMRAP set, which means as many reps as possible. But I'm really working on that 5 to 10 rep range, getting really strong in that rep range, because that's really what yields the best results for natural lifters, guys. Getting really strong. That's really my philosophy. It's picking the biggest, most effective movements and getting really strong at them in the 5 to 10 rep range. And when you're doing that and you're really training this hard, you're not going to be able to train any more than 3 days a week. So this routine is actually a lot longer than one of my 3-day per week routines. So I'm doing about 15 total sets. So usually I'll do 30 total sets per week. So I split it up into 2 15-set routines. And so this is usually I'm doing 8 to 10 sets per workout in total if I'm training 3 days a week. So this is a little bit of a longer workout since I'm just training twice a week. So now I rested another 5 minutes and dropped the weight again. So I'm going for 12 reps here. I ended up not counting properly because, sometimes when you're doing squats, it's just so fucking brutal that you just lose count of what you're doing. So I was going for 12. I could have had 12, but I ended up counting the video back and I only got 11 reps, but it's fine. Because, next week I'll just, I'll go for that 12 rep and I'll get it. And that's muscle gains, that's strength, that's progress. So that's really what you want to be aiming for each week is getting that 5 pounds. So when I hit 12 reps on this set, I will add 5 pounds and I'll try to hit that again, or maybe I'll lose a rep or two, but slowly I'll work myself up. It's called the double progression method. I find it super effective. So the double progression method basically means, let's say you're working in the 6 to 8 rep range. You get 6 reps, one set on your squat, or 1 week on your squats. Then the next week you go for 7, and the next week 8, and then you add weight, and then you go back down to 6. So now we're getting into dips, guys. I took about, 5 to 10 minutes rest. So I actually went for 100-pound dips here. So 100-pound dips, I got 8 reps. To be honest, guys, I could have gone for an extra plate. I probably could have done 135 dips. But, I really have a love-hate relationship with dips because, I'll hit it hard for like a week or two, and then I'll start to get pain in my sternum, and then I just say, you know what, fuck this. It's not worth it. Might as well just stick to bench. So I was actually feeling a little bit of sternum compression here, so, I went a little bit lighter. But yeah, dips are fantastic, guys. If you don't get pain from doing dips, like in your shoulders or your sternum, by all means do it, because they're probably one of the best. Like they're probably arguably better than bench press, since it's a closed chain movement and your body's moving through space. It activates a shitload of muscle fibers. So dips are incredible for muscle and strength gains, guys. So now I dropped the weight and I went for, I believe this is 70 pounds, and I got, I think it's 9 or 10 reps. So it was a good set. And guys, when you're doing these big, heavy compound lifts, you got to really make sure you take long rest periods, guys. It's one of the biggest mistakes everyone makes is they try to do as much as possible in a short period of time. It's bullshit, guys. Research shows resting less than 3 minutes between sets yields shittier results, quite frankly. So rest 3 to 5 minutes. So I always take 3 to 5 minutes between my sets of big compounds, and then my smaller movements, 2 to 3 minutes. So this is my last set. I went for just one plate. So I got about 11 reps, and as I'm recording this the next day, I'm sore as fuck. My chest is super sore, my front delts, triceps, all super activated. So yeah, dips are a great movement, guys, great movement. But to be honest with you, I don't recommend going beneath 8 reps on any sort of set of dips. And for me personally, I'm probably just going to start working with sets of body weight just for higher reps, just because I love weighted dips, guys, but it really just causes me too much pain in my sternum. So I'm probably just going to go back to normal bench press. But yeah, so that was my dips, and now I'm going into pen lay rows. So I absolutely fucking love pen lay rows. I almost consider them one of my key lifts, just because the reason being is they build such thickness in your back, and they have such an amazing carryover into your bench press and your deadlift, which are some of my most important lifts that I prioritize. So this is pretty much killing 2 birds with 1 stone. So the reason being is you're getting that nice activate. This is pretty much, it's almost like you're setting up for a deadlift, but you're rowing instead. So you're building that thickness in the upper back, which helps with stability on the bench press. And you're building that sort of strength in the posterior chain that carries over amazingly to the deadlift. So here, I recommend going not too heavy on these guys. I usually just go, this is just a 3 sets of 10, 3 by 10. So with 160. So usually you want to, the only problem with this movement, I would say, is the easy ability to cheat. So it's super easy to use too much body English and kind of swing the bar. So that's why I always make sure I film my sets to make sure. But this movement is more about staying a little bit more strict. So you don't want to ego lift on this. You want to, use something that is relatively not light, like still challenging, but you don't want to be, swinging it too much. You don't want to have to raise your back too much. You want to stay in that tight position and really just row it to your lower chest. So yeah, this is a 3 sets of 10. Usually when I'm doing 3 sets of 10, 3 by 10 is great for hypertrophy. That's how a lot of the old school classic golden era bodybuilders trained. 3 by 10 is fantastic for hypertrophy because it hits a really good point of good muscle, good tension, and also volume without having too big of an impact on recovery. So sets of 10 across are fantastic. So usually, with my big compound lifts, I like to hit one all-out set when I'm fresh, because straight sets can work well, but I really love, my personality, I love fucking pushing it really hard. So that first set, when I'm fresh, I can put everything into it, and that's my really PR set. And so the next 2 drop set, well, they're not drop sets, I take proper rest, and then I drop the weight, and then I go for AMRAPs. So it's a fantastic way to train for your big lifts. You don't want to do it for all your lifts because it's very taxing. But so yeah, I recommend that for the big heavy compounds, and then for the smaller movements, I recommend just sets across. So now I'm going into tricep extensions. So also I'm just going for a 2 by 10. For more isolation movements like this, guys, you don't really need to be doing more than 2 sets. So the majority of your results, guys, are going to come from getting strong on the big compound movements. This is just a little bit of icing on the cake, guys. Isolation movements do not get you fucking big, okay? And this is the problem with the fitness industry, guys. This is how people how someone is not natural is if they're massive and all they do is these, machine work and fucking single joint movements. So someone isn't natural, guys, because if you're natural and you have an amazing physique, you have to get really, really fucking strong on the big compound movements. So that's what I do. I really prioritize those movements, and that will build as good of a physique as you would ever want as a natural lifter. And that's what I'm really trying to teach people here. So I'm going into my second set of tricep extensions. I believe this is just 80 pounds. So, just getting the nice, and I'm actually turning what usually with skull crushers would be a single joint movement into more of a compound movement. So I'm using a little bit of shoulder extension, and I'm turning it into more of a compound lift, even though it's not a compound lift, but it's not a single joint movement because I'm using the shoulder joint and the elbows. So that's really, I don't really do any single joint movements, to be honest with you guys. They don't yield proper result. They don't yield good results as a natural. Getting really strong in your big lifts is what gets you big as a natural lifter, guys. And then, getting really strong on that and then combining that with, a leaner body fat percentage, and you know you're gonna look fucking fantastic. And you're not just gonna be all show no go. You're gonna have that strength and that athleticism with it and that fucking power. So now I'm just going into some rear delt flies. Rear delt flies are fantastic, guys. So guys, last exercise is going to be the incline the side delt curl, as well as this is a great movement for the biceps. But you know, as I said, when you're going for really good shoulder development, guys, you really want to get the easy on recovery and provides good hypertrophy. So you know, that's really how I do all my training.
I go for more.
Hope you guys.
I go for more of a. It's more overhead press and deadlift focus with some weighted chin ups. So those are more my compound movements for my other session. But yeah, this is really the workout, guys. So you know, as you can see, I always start off the session with my 2 or 3 big compound movements that I really want to get stronger on. That's my bread and butter lifting. And then you know, I'll do a couple sets, just 2 sets of each kind of, you know, isolation movement of muscle groups I want to bring up. So you know, that'd be the triceps, the rear delts in this movement or in this workout. So yeah.